Students, today we are going to discuss about a revision on the first unit. So as we all know that the first unit is about the introduction part of an RCC, reinforced cement concrete structures. Okay, so before going to know start about this first unit, a revision on the first unit, first we have to know about what are the syllabus which is there in the first unit. Okay, so here we'll be having introduction part of an RCC. So here we are going to discuss about what is meant by RCC and what is meant by plain cement concrete, and what are the guidelines we are going to use for designing this RCC structure. In addition to this, we are going to discuss about what are the different grades of concretes we have, and what is the mixture of concrete. We are going to discuss about what are the different shapes of aggregate, different sizes of aggregate, and what are the tests that we are going to use for finding out the compressive strength of an concrete. So as per IS 456 2000, the grades of concrete can be classified into 3 groups according to the characteristic strength of concrete. So how you can perform this characteristic strength of concrete in the sense, so based upon the test you have performed in the lab, known as called as cube test, so thereby you are going to find out the compressive strength of concrete at an age of 28 days. Okay, so and here this compressive strength, which is to be expressed in Newton per mm square. System restart. నేను జాబ్ కూడా బ్రౌజర్ ఏం పెట్టలేదు. మీట్లో పెట్టావా? So here we are going to discuss about the different structures, different compressive strengths of concrete at an age of 28 days. In addition to this, we are also using a material known as called as steel reinforcement, which can be used for designing these RCC structures. Okay, so for knowing this tensile strength of steel, we are going to perform a test known as called as universal testing mission. So I think you may have known about this test in your 2x2 or 2x1 semester that you have performed in your strength of materials lab to find out this tensile strength of steel specimens. Okay, so basically this is also available in different forms, like what is high yield, what is the different grades of steels known as called as Fe 250 grade of steel, which is also expressed in Newton per mm square, and Fe 415 grade of steel, and Fe 515 grade of steel. So what are the names of it is known as called as, so here the Fe 250 grade of steels is known as called as mild steel bars, and Fe 415 grade of steel bars is known as called high yield strength deformation bars. Okay, coming to the diameters, what are the different diameters that we are going to use for this designing this RCC structure under different grades of steels is, so under 250 grade of steels, we are going to use the bar sizes of 6 mm, so known as called as plain bars we are going to use, as well as when the diameter of the bar is more than 10 to 32 mm, then it will be called as high yield strength deformation bars. So how you can identify these bars in the sense, based upon the appearance, physical appearance of the bar, you can know that this is Fe 250 grade of steel, and this is Fe 415 and Fe 515 grade of steel. So here you can see, I'm going to see this how this different diameter of different grades of steels can be identified. So here you can see this is mild steel bar, and this is known as called as high yield strength deformation bars. You can see this appearance on the surface of bar. So there is no threads on the surface of the bar, which is known as called as mild steel bars. If a bar having a corrugulations or indentations on the surface of the bar, then it will be called it as high yield strength deformation bars. Okay, so under these the different diameter of the bars known as called as 6 mm bars. Under this high yield strength deformation bars, we have different bars of diameter known as called as 8 to 20 mm we can use. Okay, so based upon the designing of different structural elements, you can use this diameter of the bars. What are the different types of structural elements we will be having in the sense? So when you are coming from the ground levels, first structural element is about to design a footing foundation. Okay, thereby we are going to design a plinth levels. Then we can go for designing a columns. So and designing a beams, designing a slabs. Okay, these are all comes under the different structural elements of an building. Okay, so if you are going to construct any type of building like residential or commercial buildings, so these are the different types of structural elements which is having. So first we'll design this footings, foundations, how these can be designed in the sense based upon the soil bearing capacity of a particular site. Without knowing this soil base SBC, we can't design these footings. Okay, based upon this only we can decide whether it is individual footing or combined footing. Okay, so after that we are going to design a columns. After that we can go for designing a plinth levels. Then we can go for designing floor to, based upon the floor to floor height consideration, we are going to design the slabs. Okay, as well as beams. Okay, how we are going to consider this floor to floor heights and different types of loads which is acting for the beams and columns is, so we have a code books for the designing of RCC structures known as called as IS 875 part 1, which deals only with the dead loads, and IS 875 part 2, which deals with the dead loads, and IS 875 part 3, which deals only with the live loads, and IS 875 IS 1893 2002, which deals only with the earthquake loads. Okay, so like this, based upon this we are going to use different types of loading conditions for designing different structural members. In addition to this, we'll also consider what are the different load combinations of a structure. Okay, so this will also be considered according to the guidelines of IS 456 2000. Okay, so this is all about an introduction part of an RCC structure. Okay, before going to design this, first we must to know how the structure is going to be designed. So as we all know that it is to be designed with an reinforced cement concrete. Here structural engineering one subject is also known as called as reinforced cement concrete, or we can call it as design of reinforced cement concrete structures. As per R16 syllabus, it is reinforced cement concrete structures and design. Okay, as per R15 syllabus, it will be design of reinforced concrete structures. Okay, and coming to the, so this one syllabus. So introduction, what are the different components of structures? As we all know that here we are going to discuss about different components of structures known as called as what is superstructure and what is substructure. So what are the different structure elements will comes under superstructure, and what are the different structural elements that comes under substructure. Okay, there we are going to discuss about the different components of structures and what are the different types of structures we have. Here we are going to discuss about what is meant by residential building and commercial building. Okay, basically for normal usages we can go for designing a residential buildings, and for business purposes we can go for designing commercial buildings. Yes, examples in the form of you can take any institutional buildings which is also comes under commercial buildings, and those are especially used for and business purpose, they are all comes under the commercial buildings only. What are the equilibrium and compatibility? Okay, by taking any structures we can assume that which is we have a three number of equilibrium equations, such as in the form of summation of horizontal forces is equals to 0, summation of vertical forces is equals to 0, summation of moments is equals to 0. Okay, in addition to this we must to study about what safety and serviceability. and stability of the structure. Without this, we can't design a structure. So how many years it will takes? Okay, that all comes under safety and stability. And what are the different types of loads that we are going to use for designing this RCC structure is, so that I have explained. Basically, for designing any residential or commercial buildings, we are going to use a code books known as called as IS 456 2000 guidelines to be followed for designing RCC structure. And in addition to this, for the loads, we are going to use a code books known as called as IS 875 part 1, which is which deals with the dead loads, and IS 875 part 2, which deals with the live loads, IS 875 part 3, which deals with the wind loads, and IS 1893 2002, which deals with the earthquake loads. Okay. So these are the different types of code books we are going to take for designing different loads and load combinations, which is to be considered from the guidelines of IS 456 2000. Okay, you will be having some class numbers. Okay, you can design or analyze a structure within different combination of loads, which may be in the form of a dead load plus live load, or you can also analyze a structure using dead load plus live load plus wind loads. And you can also analyze a structure using dead load plus live load plus wind load plus and earthquake loads. By applying three different combination of loads, also you can find out what is the variation of concrete which is takes place in the florid to florid levels. Okay, if you are going to find out this quantity as concrete materials quantity in an first floor, you can also apply a same load combination in the second floor, and you can find out the quantities. Thereby you can observe whether the quantities are going to get different or it is going to get same. So what happens due to this combination of loads, also you can know the materials quantities with or without changing. Okay, so like that you can apply different combinations of load. In addition to this, we must to consider the safety factors also. So according to the IS 456 2000 code book. Okay, so 1.5 times of dead load and live load we must to consider, are 1.1 1.0. Okay, one times of dead load or live load, that also we must to consider from the guidelines of IS 456 2000. Okay, so what is meant by a design? Okay, next one is what are the different types of materials we are going to use? Okay, for designing this RCC structure, basically we are going to use, one is PCC, plain cement concrete, and we can use concrete material and steel material. In addition to this, we are going to use covers also. Okay, so these the different types of materials. Steel and concrete are the major ingredients which can be used for designing or constructing an type of an residential building or commercial building. Okay, so what is this RCC is nothing but reinforced cement concrete and pre-stressed concrete structures and steel. Okay, so what is the difference in between the both is whatever the steel grades we are using in the RCC and PSC is different. Here we are going to use the wires, whereas here we are going to use the bars. Okay, so and here the bars of diameter of bars ranging for this PCS is 2.5 to 32 mm we can use, and for RCC we can use 6 mm to 32 mm. So thereby we, the 6 mm bar comes under the mild steel grade, and apart above that 6 mm grade we can use as hailstone deformation bars. Okay, so there is a different in between the construction of RCC and PCS. Okay, and what are the planning of structural element, how we can design? So without knowing the without adapting a particular planning of an building, we can't design this structural elements. Like first what you can lay, what you can design, and next after completing the first step, what is the next step that you are going to be design? So like that. So for designing any type of building, for laying a foundation, we must to have a soil test. Okay, so without knowing this, we can't design the shape, okay, and size of the footing. Okay, for knowing the uh, shape of the footing and size of the footing, we must to know the SBC of a particular site. Okay, after testing this SBC only, we can lay the foundation. After that, we can go for directly columns, beams, slabs. Okay, these are the different structural elements you can design. Okay, so and concepts of RCC design. Okay, so this what are the different concepts which is having for this RCC design. Okay, we all know that it can be designed under different methods. Okay, limit state method we have, ultimate load method we have, working stress method we have. Above under all this method, which one we are going to adopt for designing a RCC structure, or you can assume that which method is best suited for designing this RCC structures. Okay, we can study about all these methods and we can finally identify that this method is the best method for an designing of RCC structures. So in this way I can go for designing the limit state method of limit state method for designing this RCC structures. Okay, and here we can discuss about the differences in between the working stress method and limit state method. Okay, and next one is what are the different load combinations as per limit state method that you can uh, once you go through the code book of IS 456 2000, that also I have shown in the previous classes. Once again I'll show you when we are going to take the different combinations of loads for designing this RCC structure. There I'll show you this different factors, load combinations. Okay, and the next one, materials characteristics values. Okay, so basically this characteristic strength and characteristic values, you can go through the visiting of IS 456 2000. It will be available in the page number 7. So there the different classifications of characteristic strength of grades we have, and what is the partial safety factors. So this we have studied about in the first unit. So the partial safety factor of concrete, which is to be taken as 1.5. So and this partial safety factor for steel, which is to be taken as 1.15. Okay, based upon this characteristic strength of concrete, we can find out what is the design strength of concrete. Okay, so that all we have discussed. And what is the behavior and properties of concrete and steel. Okay, behavior and properties of concrete and steel, which generally knows by testing and specimens. Okay, specimens which is in the form of cubes. If you are going to know the behavior of concrete, you must perform an test known as called as concrete specimen test. So for this testing, what is the cube size that you are going to be uses? You are going to use 150 mm by 150 mm size of the cube in the lab. Thereby you are going to select one grade of concrete. For that you are going to take a mix and you are going to cast a cube. Okay, after that you are going to perform a test using compressive testing mission. So thereby you can find out the compressive strength at an age of 3 days, 7 days and 28 days. But our target strength can be reached at an age of 28 days. Okay, so that is the procedure for finding out these different uh, grades of concrete characteristic strength at an age of 28, and which is also expressed in Newton per mm square. Okay, how you got this Newton per mm square? In the sense, based upon the stress equation, we can find out the force per unit area. Thereby we can know that the characteristic strength of concrete, which is to be expressed in Newton per mm square. So here coming to the next one is what is the stress block parameters. So where exactly the lever arm is going to be acts in this stress block parameters that we are going to be discussed. And wherever this compressive force and tensile force which is acting in the structure, in between these two forces, we are going to consider this as a lever arm. Okay, so this compressive force which is generally to be considered in the compressive zone, and the tensile force which is to be considered in the tensile zone. Okay, before going to know this, we must know the sections where exactly it is going to be placed, and where exactly the concrete is going to be placed. So where we are going to create a neutral axis, or you can say boundary line. Okay, so for this I'll show you some cross sectional details of an section. Means you can assume any section like rectangular, you can assume here for placing the different types of materials in the member. Okay, so for this I'll show you here. So you can see here. So let us assume that this is a rectangular section having a cross-sectional details or specifications of B and D. You can assume that this is B and D. So this is the width of the section, and this is the depth of the section. Thereby, we are going to create a neutral axis at a distance of d/2 from the bottom face of a structure. So this is the neutral axis, which is to be placed at a distance of d/2. Okay. So here we have created a neutral axis at a distance of d/2 from the bottom face of the structures. Thereby, we are going to assume that this the maximum number of shear stresses at this point are going to become 0. Okay, so thereby we have divided this rectangular sections into two zones. So one is for the concrete zone, and one is for the tensile zone. So however, while designing any structure, we are going to place this steel at the bottom side and concrete at the top side. So thereby you can see here, I am going to place this diameter of the bars. These are, you can assume these are the cross-sectional details of an steel facing structure. Okay, you can assume this are the different diameters of bars which I have placed in the tensile zone. You can assume that this is, you can assume 10 mm or 12 mm. Okay, so and I have placed only 3 bars. Therefore, here you can write it as 12 bars of 3 mm diameter, and this is called as concrete zone. Here also you can place these bars. When you are going to place these bars, in the sense when you are going to design it for doubly reinforced beams, then you can go for placing a bars in the concrete zone as well as in the tensile zone. Okay, so if you are going to design only for singly reinforced beam, you can place these bars in the tensile zone itself. Okay, so you can also assume this as 3 bars of, you can assume 12 mm diameter. Okay, so for these, so these are the cross sectional details. So for a given problem in the external exam, you must to draw the cross sectional details. So after knowing the cross sectional details, you can draw the cross sectional details of materials in the member. So how you can draw these cross sectional details in the member, in the sense, so based upon the given data in the question, you can assume that, and you can draw these cross sectional details in the member. Okay, in the concrete member you need to draw, as well as in the tensile member you need to draw. After that, you need to draw the reinforcement details. Okay, so how you can draw these reinforcement details, in the sense, first you need to calculate what is the total area of steel that is required for the beam. After that, you can calculate what is the spacing of area of steel. Okay, so that also we have discussed in the first class, that so we generally we are going to design a structure which consists of 2 bars. One is called as vertical bar and one is called as horizontal bar, or you can call it as X bar and Y bar. So that we have discussed in the slabs unit. Similarly, if we are going to design any structure, we must to use at least a bars known as called as two bars. One is vertical bar and second one is called horizontal bars. Okay, so here the vertical bars known as called as main bars and horizontal bars known as called as distribution bars we can use. Okay, so how these bars are going to be placed in the sense, so you can assume this is an rectangular section in which the main bars are always going to be placed in a vertical manner. Okay, this you can see, and these distribution bars are always going to be placed in an horizontal manner. Okay, so you can see here you have placed a two number of bars in the form of x direction and y direction. Okay, uh, in the x direction are vertical bars known as called as main bars, you can say, and the spacing in between the two bars, you can see here the spacing in between the vertical bar to the vertical bar, this is known as called as spacing of main bars. You can call, you can write this as a reinforcement sketches or reinforcement details of a particular beam. This is spacing of main bars, you can say. And if you are going to draw the spacing in between the horizontal bar to the horizontal bar, then you can say this is known as called as spacing of distribution bars, you can say. Okay, so these are the cross-sectional details which is having for the designing of any structural members. Okay, so stress block parameters we have discussed according to the IS 456 2000, limit state analysis and designs of sections in flexure. Okay, if you are going to take any beam, it will have some deflection due to subjection of load. Thereby we can know that we need to find out what is the bending effect, flexure. Okay, behavior of RC section under flexure, rectangular T, and so this here we are going to design a section based upon the T section, L section, and we can also go for designing the singly reinforced beams and doubly reinforced beams. Okay, detailing of reinforcement. So you can see here, this is the, here you have studied about these different types of structures. Okay, thereby uh, the structure elements can be divided into two groups. One is called as substructure element and superstructure elements. So what are the substructure elements we have and what are the superstructure elements we have? However, in the substructure we are going to lay a foundation. When we are going to lay this foundation in the sense when we know the SBC, then only we can go for designing this foundation size and shape. Okay, before going to this, what a structural engineering can do, in the sense a structural engineering can do this both terms. One is called as analysis and one is called as design. So without analyzing a structure we can't design. So when we can go for designing a structure, in the sense when we are perfect in the analysis part, then we can go for designing this RCC structure. Okay, so what are the errors that we are getting in the analysis part that we can rectify it in the analysis term only? Okay, we can't rectify it in the design part. Okay, once we are going to adapt it, that is known as called as final stage. So that's what we are going to adapt in the field. So in the analysis part we can rectify the errors. How this analysis can be performed, in the sense, so for performing this analysis we must know the first condition as soil bearing capacity we must know. Okay, why? In the sense for adapting the size of the footing and for adapting the shape. In addition to this, we must know what are the loading conditions that we are going to apply for the different structural elements. So for designing first floor read structural elements, what is the loading we are going to apply, or we are going to change the loading in the second floor. So if you are going to applying a same load, you need not to refer again the code book. If not, if you want, If not, again you need to refer the code book for designing the second floors. Okay, so if you are going to design a residential building, so what is the live loads and what is the dead loads that you need to consider. Okay, and if you are going to design for this second commercial buildings, what are the live loads and dead loads that you need to consider from the code books of IS 875 part 7, part 1, part 2 and part 3. Okay, so a structural engineering will perform all these. First one, he will analyze the structure, so thereby he is going to study about the different concepts of the different behaviors of the structural members. So for analyzing these structures, we must know, we must study about the different concepts for analyzing the structure. As first one is shear force and bending moment diagram. So how we will be getting in the sense, based upon the behavior of loading, the shear force and bending moments will be getting. So okay, so for knowing this concept, you must to go through the strength of material subject. Okay, so and for analyzing a methods, means you need to assume a method for analyzing a structure. Which method is best suited for analyzing a structure? Okay, if you want to know about the methods of analysis, again you need to go for the referring of analysis subjects like structure analysis. You need to go, and so thereby you need to study about the different methods. We have different methods like slope deflection method, we have matrix methods of analysis, we have moment distribution method, we have Canis method, we have, okay, like different methods we have for analyzing a structure. Among all these methods, you are going to adopt a best method for analyzing a structure. Okay, and you can know the differences in between, what are the advantages we have and what are the disadvantages we have, that you are going to be uh, seen in this analysis part. After that, you can go through the designing of this RCC structure. So for designing this, we must study about a subject known as called as uh, reinforced cement concrete structures, or you need to study about this structural engineering one subject. So thereby you must to know about the behavior of materials and how the RCC structure can be designed. Is there any guidelines to be followed for designing these RCC structures? Okay, yes, for designing these RCC structures, you must to follow a guidelines of IS 456 2000 for the design of RCC structures like commercial buildings and residential buildings. Okay, if you want to know about the behavior of different parameters, you must to study about this RCC. If you want to design and steel structures, if you can go through the subject of steel structures subject. If you want to design about this pre-stressed concrete structures, you need to go through the subject of this pre-stressed concrete structures. Okay, so this is about a how a structural engineering can do. Okay, so he's going to be design the structure and he's going to be analyze the structure. Okay, the next one is, you can see here, so this is the structural analysis versus structural design. So how the structural analysis can be performed and what these are the design, structural design. Okay, by considering different parameters, like thereby we can find out the reaction supports, loading conditions, how we will be getting this reaction supports and the sense based upon the loading conditions of the member you will be getting. In addition to this, we can also find out the movements and all. Okay.